Okay, we are live now. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jay, and I will be your moderator today. So we would also like to take this opportunity to wish everyone Selamat Hari Raya and hope that you all will have a warm celebration. So in conjunction to the MCO 3.0, Ms. Jason Kong and Co. is proud to announce that we will be launching our Legal Awareness Week. For your information, throughout this period, we'll be giving talks, forums, and also posting some of the legal knowledge in our Facebook page and also Instagram so that our audience can be more aware and also gain more legal knowledge. So today, we will be having our first forum, as stated below, on the topic of divorce in Malaysia. So through this forum, our panel will be answering some of the common questions related to divorce. So before that, let us welcome our speakers today. So our first speaker today will be Mr. Jason Kong.
Hi,
Mr.
everyone.
Jason, can you introduce?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us. If you are joining us, and also thanks Natalie for taking the role of introduce us, being the panel. Today we're going to talk about matters related to in relations to divorce. I think this is pretty common nowadays, right? Having this COVID-19 in place, the pandemic, some of these social issues, families matters. I think that it is very important to share this knowledge to everyone. Just a bit of introductions about myself. I have been practice for the past 10 years, going to 11 years this year. And the area of practice involve general litigations and also bread and butter of conveyancing practices. Of course, having established the law firm back in 2018, along the years, and in particular in the year 2020, we can see a huge increase, in this divorce matter. Now, because of this, we wanted to take this opportunity to share with everyone on as far as procedure goes, timeline, and so on. I mean, in conjunctions of the Legal Awareness Week, this is the first topic that we're going to share with you all. And along the way, we have many other areas as well. So, we will share more along the way. So that's a very brief introduction about myself. Thanks, Nadine.
Thank you, Mr. Jason. So our second speaker today will be Si Yuan.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. And first of all, I would like to wish all Muslim friends Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. My name is Si Yuan, and I'm currently a pupil in Chambers working in Jason Kong and Co. And you can look forward to our session today. We will share to you some basic knowledge and procedures regarding divorce in Malaysia.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jason, and thank you, Si Yuan. So because as mentioned by both our speakers just now, due to this MCO, people are actually ordered to stay at home. And actually this has been a nightmare for many of the couples, since some of the couples will actually argue when they see each other. And this had actually increased the divorce rate. For example, in China, the press, namely Shangyu Xinwen, has actually mentioned that due to the lockdown which is implemented in China, the divorce rate had been increasing compared to the previous years. So I would like to ask our speakers' opinions. What are the common reasons of divorce? Anyone wants to go first?
To answer your question, to answer your question, I think it really depends from case to case basis, because maybe every couple have different reasons that led to their divorce. But from the cases that we handled previously since MCO, the common reasons are such as irretrievable relationships, like the couple cannot live with each other, cannot tolerate with each other, or they might be involving trust issue like third party, or in Chinese we will call it as 小三, or there's deception issues, or to a more serious extent, there's issue of domestic violence, 家暴, or adultery. I think these are some of the common reasons of divorce nowadays.
Yeah. Look, I mean, those are these very common issues arise among the families members, the couples. For us, we been practicing in this area. We generally we don't ask about the nature or what is the reason behind as far as joint petition is concerned. But then we do know that their relationship is broken. They cannot be repaired. So with that, we will take instructions to proceed for a joint petition. Of course, along the way, we have also handled some of these single petition matters that, like what Sirian have told us, the unrepaired relationships due to many other reasons, financially, hardship, kids issues, properties. There are actually tremendous many issues that that is a saying every family have their difficulties. Yeah. So I think these are the start for eventually end up as a divorce. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Jason and Siyuan's opinion. So actually today, we have gathered a number of questions from our clients and also our audience on the matters related to divorce. So today, we will actually take this opportunity to tackle all these questions. So at the same time, if you have any questions related to divorce, do leave your comments or your question in the comment box, and we will address these questions at the end of our session later. So now let's go into our first question, which is asked by our audience. So the first question is, because we know that actually when the couple plan to divorce, they would actually like to know that how long their marriage has to last before they can actually divorce.
Thank you, Natalie, for addressing this question. And to answer this question, actually under Malaysia law, your marriage needs to be in existing for at least 2 years before you can file a divorce petition.
It will be 2 years, all right? But what if today their marriage haven't reached 2 years, but they really cannot stand each other? Means when they meet each other, they will start to argue. What can they do?
Although the general rule is 2 years, but there's always exception under the law. And you need to prove to the court that actually there are exceptional circumstances or the party will actually suffer hardship. Then the court will decide whether to allow the petition before 2 years marriage.
Yeah, the exception circumstances, things like there is violence in the family. Well, you can't actually stay another day with a violent person, right? So these are the exception circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah, and a ground for you, and a very strong ground for you to apply for a divorce under that circumstance. So that.
And actually, it's still based on the court discretion.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, if they want to divorce, there have to be some special circumstances, and the court will decide whether it is allowed or not lah. So, if today they decide to divorce, how many types of divorce we have in Malaysia?
Generally, under Malaysia law, there are 2 types of divorce. Namely, the first one would be joint divorce petition, or in Chinese, we will normally call it as 双方同意离婚. Or the another type would be single divorce petition, which in Chinese is 单方面申请离婚. So generally, these are the 2 types of divorce available in Malaysia.
Okay, so we see that if both parties agree to divorce, it will be a joint petition, right? Which in Mandarin we call it as 双方面同意离婚. So for this kind of joint petition, what are the basic procedures for this petition?
Okay, I would like to share with the audience some of the basic procedures regarding joint divorce petition, 双方同意离婚. First of all, normally we will draft out the terms of joint divorce petition, and we need to make sure that both parties actually approve those terms before we file the petition.
But just now when you mentioned about terms, can I know what kind of terms they have to agree and also have to include in the petition?
Normally, those terms that will be included in the joint divorce petition are such as child custody, 孩子的抚养权, or claim of maintenance, 赡养费, or maybe also can include access to the children. These are some of the common terms that we will include in the petition.
Okay,
Just
thank
want to
you.
add on the as a start. Normally, normally when we receive calls from clients, things to prepare. It is your, of course, respective IC together with your marriage certificates, and also if there is a child as a result of the marriage, then we need to. Sorry, is the line?
Yeah, it's a bit freezing. Okay, Mr. Jason, can you add on? Just now you mentioned that if they have children, what should they do?
Yeah, correct. Yes, yeah. Because when we receive calls from clients, these are the documents that we need, right? These are birth certificates, and also if they are matrimonial home, then of course we have to decide how to redistribute on this matrimonial home. Then these details will have to give to your lawyers. Yeah.
Okay, then after we prepare all these kind of documents and when they agree on all these kind of terms, what will be the next step?
After they agree and approve the terms, normally we will arrange for their signing. Then after their signing, we will file all the court papers for such petition.
Yeah, by filing the court paper into court, of course, the respective petitioner will have to take note that you are required to attend court, in open court. And of course, if one of the party are not convenienced to attend court simply because you are at other state, having an MCO in place, you can't travel cross state and all that, then at least one party is able to attend, address the court, that acknowledging that parties has agreed to proceed for divorce.
And if one of the party, maybe they did not turn up or have any reasons that they will be absent during the hearing day, you actually need to file an affidavit of non-appearance by giving valid reasons why you cannot turn up during the hearing. But one special point I would like to mention is that because due to MCO, sometimes the court will allow the hearing to be conducted online instead of physical hearing.
So after the courts actually hear and they will actually grant orders, right? It means they allowed them to divorce or not. Then after that, what will be the next step?
If the court granted the orders in terms as what we laid down in the petition, then we will need to file two documents, namely decree nisi, and also another one would be order or perintah. After you file these things, then you will have a 3 months period, a cooling off period before your decree nisi become absolute. Then when it become absolute, then only consider as permanently divorced.
All right, but before this certificate become absolute, means the divorce become effective. During these 3 months, can the parties still change their mind, or they want to withdraw their application, or they want to disagree with the terms, or this kind of thing?
Yes, during this 3-month period, if one of the party want to object to the petition, they can actually do that during the 3 months cooling off period.
Okay, thank you. Then what if the parties today, one of the parties, they did not want to divorce, or they do not agree with the terms? What will it be? Is there any difference? Means will it be still considered as the same procedure with this joint petition, or there will be another kind of different types of divorce?
If one of the party did not agree, then it will become single divorce petition already.
Single divorce petition. So for this divorce petition, it will be a 单方面离婚, right? 单方面离婚. So is there any limitation to apply this single petition divorce? Or as long one of the parties that actually agree to divorce, then they can apply to the court?
Maybe for single divorce petition, I will leave it to Mr. Jason. Mr. Jason can elaborate more on this.
All right. I think we have some technical issues. Right. Mr. Jason, can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Jason? Hello,
Yes, I
Mr. Jason,
think
can you hear us?
Sorry, the line
Can you-
is back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we just mentioned about single petition, which is 单方面离婚.
Yes.
So for this kind of single petition, is there any limitation? Or as long one of the parties actually agree, then they can actually divorce?
Actually, for the single petition means that one of the party do not agree on certain terms. There is no way, parties will sit down and sign off the joint petition. So the first thing that the petitioner will have to do will have to subject to this the JPN for the counseling sessions, having to attend the 3-time counseling session with the authorities. Basically, it is an exercise conducted by the authority to reconcile the both party. So the first time, it usually will fix 3 appointments. The first time will be the petitioner husband, second, not in sequence order, could be the husband first or wife second, and the third meeting will attend by both party. So it is at all the best effort to reconcile both party, not to proceed for divorce. Having done that, and it is failed, the 3 meetings, some of the parties did not attend, and even though they attended and they couldn't have agreed on the broken marriage, so the authority will give you a letter. So that letter you will have to hands on to your lawyers to file an exception, a waiver, to apply for this single petitions divorce. So these are the things that you need to take note of. It is slightly different than the joint petition.
When you're talking about the counseling session, right? Actually, is it necessary if one of the parties they don't want to go to this counseling? Will that actually affect this application?
Right. I mean, if one of the party chose not to attend, that will basically an absent records shows one of the petitioner did not turn up. Basically, everyone would giving 2 attendance. The first round is the husband, right? The second is the wife. The third round is both party to be attend. It is a meetup before the officer, to discuss whether there's any chance of severe the marriage. Now, like I say, if you don't turn up for all this, well, it just serve as an absent. Eventually, the authority will still issue a letter, and you will have the letter and file it to court. Now, of course, it is what we call it. We litigate the matter. Of course, in the single petition, one petitioner party will then ask, whatever they wanted. So, of course, it's for the other parties to object on it. Yeah.
Then can I ask, can Mr. Jason share with us a bit, in what kind of circumstances which this single divorce petition will be allowed?
Yeah, single divorce petition it is at court discretion. Of course, generally the court will not interfere the affair, but then when it comes to the terms and conditions of both party, things will have to be come to a conclusion. For example, the main concern is the custody of the child. You know, in a marriage, if it's broken down, then parties have to go separate way. So where did the children to be placed? Should it placed towards the kid, the moms, or towards the father? Now, under the Law Reform Marriage Act 1976, right, it did mention, especially
Sorry, Mr. Jason. Hello? Sorry, everyone. We are having technical issues right now. We'll fix it for please hold. Be back once all the speakers are ready.
yeah, Natalie, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Jason, I can hear you. I can
I
also
think the
see
line
you.
is really bad. Yeah, so I have to
Yeah.
sit close to the router. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Yuan is also.
Yeah, the line is bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like what I say a moment ago, we talked about this single petition.
Single petition. Yeah.
The things that we need to take note of is the custody of the child, right? Then
Yes.
of course that we will have to come to an agreement in somehow. Let's say if they couldn't agree that the child will follow the moms, then have to give a sufficient reason to convince the court, you know, to have a custody of the child, hand it over to the husband. So these are the one of the things that we take note. Of course, when come to the custody of the child, other than that, there will be a matrimonial home. You know, marriage couple will have properties under joint name. You know, like I say, when you file a divorce, parties are going to separate way. So you need to decide, you know, where to how about the property? Do you distribute it? Do you sell it? So these are the issues we have to resolve if parties cannot be settled between them. Yeah. Then the of course the matrimonial and also the we'll call it the support, financial support of the family. Yeah, those also another issues, that how much is enough, you know, to finance the kids and so on. So all these figure will have, the court will have to decide if the parties cannot be come to a conclusions. Yeah, these are the
And
few
so,
areas. Yeah.
So basically, all these kind of areas, it will still based on the discretion of the court after looking at the circumstances of the parties, right?
Correct. Yes. Correct.
So normally, if like both parties they do not agree with the the custody, for example, one of the term is custody, which people is quite concerned of. Normally, who will actually get this custody of the children?
Yeah, Sian, you want to share the general rules on sharing custody?
Yes. Ken, I would like to share on this. Normally, the general rule would be for children under 7 years old, the general rule is giving the child custody to the mother, unless you can prove valid reasons or like the character of the mother, which make the mother cannot take care of the child, then you need to prove to the court, and only the court will granted such custody to the father. So basically, it's a rebuttable presumption under the law.
All right, thank you, Suyuan, and also thank you, Mr. Jason, for sharing on this part of single petition, which is the 单方面离婚. So basically, we can actually see that for this kind of single petition, it's normally based on the court's discretion. No matter even though there are actually some general rules, but the court will still consider some of the special circumstances suffered by both parties in order for the court to actually grant the order to the parties, right? Can I say so?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess basically before we end today's session, let's see whether there are actually any questions posted by our audience. Okay, one of the question is that, may I know what is the differences of a divorce procedure between Muslim and also non-Muslim? Is there any difference in the first place?
All right. For what we have explained, as far as our presentation moment ago, it is in relations to a civil court, right? Civil court divorce. It is in relations to more related to a non-Muslim. So as far as Muslim is concerned, it usually will be governed by Sharia law, right? So we are not Sharia practitioner, so we are unable to confirm on as far as the procedure under the Sharia, how does it look, and yeah. So what we are sharing, it is more in relations to civil. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jason. Is there anything to add on both speakers? Okay. So I guess today's session had actually come to an end. So once again, thank you very much to both of our speakers, Mr. Jason and also Chan Siwen, for this fruitful discussion. And also, not to forget all the audience who actually joined us today. We hope that these discussions will actually answer some of your queries. Before we end, do like our Facebook page and also our Instagram, which is Jason Kong & Co, to get more updates on our Legal Awareness Week. We'll be posting more legal knowledge updates and also organize different kind of talks covering different types of areas of law during this Legal Awareness Week. So stay tuned, stay at home, and stay safe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.